In this video, I want to talk about setbacks. Namely, because I've been in one right now. I have officially fractured my wrist. If you're a young dude and have broken your wrist, you probably broke the same bone as me. It is the scaphoid, this classic little piece of shit bone that has absolutely zero durability. I fell off on my bike. Actually, I fell on my bike. And so, I fractured the bone in half. Luckily, I did not need surgery. I actually voted against surgery. It was an option, but I think I'd prefer the cast. And apparently 6 weeks in this bad boy is all it takes for me to fully heal. So I want to make this video because this is something important that, we can get caught up in a lot of times, is understanding and believing that, our scenarios are the worst thing that could possibly happen to us. And I got into a little pity party for myself when I knew that this was going to happen. I got a little bit sad when they're thinking maybe, surgery might be the only option. But I am slowly getting to the understanding and positivity of, the whole situation itself. So my summer plans were to work as a travel nurse in Washington, in the United States, and to train for Ironman triathlon. My half Ironman, basically the one working up to the full Ironman, is in 3 weeks. I broke this last week, so I have 4 weeks to heal. This is not going to happen. Sadly, the thing I've been training for the last 3.5 months straight is no longer a go. Bummer, huge bummer. It sucks to tell my training partner, it sucks to tell my friends, and everybody feels bad for me, which allows me to cope and feel bad for myself. And so I'm trying to push away from all of that. Yes, I broke my wrist. Yes, my hand's in a cast. I won't be able to swim. I won't be able to train. I won't be able to run and sweat and be gross and go for hikes and climb and do all the stuff that I like to do. But there is a silver lining. There is positivity in every situation. For instance, when I fell on my bike, I was moving at about 1 kilometer an hour, which is not fast. Even for you Americans, this half a mile is not very fast per hour. So I fell. I couldn't unclip out of my leg out of my bike, and I just tipped over and I fell on my hand. It's called a Fuchs injury. Very common. Usually young dudes break this bone because, I don't know, we're bitch made. Anyways, so on the bright side, which sounds weird, considering I just fractured my hand, is on the bright side, I didn't get run over by a huge semi-truck, which I was riding next to the entire highway of this training training session that I had. So I was on the side of the highway and I tipped over, fell, and I didn't get my head smashed in by a giant semi-truck. All I have is a broken wrist, and that is pretty sweet. So if you can start to look at things like this, where you can see the silver lining, where you can see the positivity in any situation, this will greatly enhance your life. Now, it might be a bummer, everything you worked for the last 6 months, year, however long, and then on the last moment, that gets taken away from you, is a huge bummer. I totally understand that, and it's okay to feel sad and depressed for a moment or two, but you cannot give yourself a pity party. It is not only because it's bitch made, but because it just doesn't get you anywhere. And positivity, I think, and Michael J. Fox said it's the best. He said optimism with optimism, or wait, what did he say? He said, with gratitude, optimism is sustainable. Michael J. Fox is a Canadian legend and is suffering from Parkinson's disease. And he is just balling out. And I don't mean just because he's going to front court at NBA games and stuff like that. No, but he's balling out as in he's still living his life even though he is deteriorating so fast. It's really just sad to see the kid from Back to the Future just, degrade and decline, and it's super sad, but he's still making the most of it, and he's still positive about his whole situation. And that's what you need to be. So instead of having a pity party for when something bad happens to you in life, you need to actually step up your game, be like, damn, what does this mean for me? What is the silver lining in this? How can I see this better? So even though it looks like I'm going backwards, I'm actually just moonwalking. It's not the worst thing that can happen to me. So I didn't get my head smashed in. My wrist is broken. I can't move for 6 weeks. I can't train. I won't be able to do the race that I currently had set up in 3 weeks. Bummer. Big fucking deal. What can I do instead for the next 6 weeks while I recover? Well, It's June 1st. My challenge to myself is to go vegan for an entire month, see if I can do it. And so I'm gonna just focus on cooking, eating good food, eating healthy food. And because I'm not training so much, I won't be so hungry, so I don't have to eat a ton of vegan food all the time. And not to say that vegan food's bad, but just in terms of like, when you're looking at calorie density, it's really hard to, I guess, get more calories in when you're eating, vegetables and shit like that, because they're so low calorie. And so, all right, I can do this. I can go vegan. I can walk more. And it's summertime. It's literally summer. I'm gonna show you outside. Boom. So nice. It is summertime. I get to walk every single day. I'm gonna shoot for 20,000 steps every day because I can't run. I don't wanna get this thing too greasy and then have like in 6 weeks some freaking algae growing under there and get sick with an infection. So I can walk, I can enjoy summer, I can read. Think of all the things that you can do. When you're down and out, when you are going through the worst periods in life, think about what you can do, not what you can't do. Don't worry about what you're missing, because that stuff is gonna be there after the whole thing. Worry about what you can do. So this happened last year with me as well, I was going through an intense bout of ulcerative colitis, which rendered me basically fucking useless. I would go to work and I would go home, be a complete hermit, read on the couch, and just, be depressed because I wasted an entire summer in beautiful Canada, Vancouver, Canada. And so I didn't let that get me totally down. I actually kind of enjoyed it. It allowed me to diet down, shred some weight, eat mostly at home, save some money, read lots of books. I probably read like 20 books last summer. And I plan to do the same thing now because I got 6 weeks. I could probably read a couple books a week just doing nothing and just recovering. So there are bright sides to this. Things can be looking bad, but you can always find something positive to do. You can't use your hands? Start to use your dome more. You don't got to train all the time. You don't got to be depressed and be like, I'm going to lose all my gains. I'm going to, I can't do these certain things. I can't wipe my ass. It's like you can do all these things and you can make things work. People with far less do way more than you do, okay? I was like out and about, and I'm in like a busy street in Granville Island. And I was like, I was just going through it. I was just being such a total bitch. And I was like, man, my wrist fucking hurts. Nobody knows this shit's fractured. And it's like, man, it's hard for me to like carry things. And then I see this young woman, and she's like, obviously blind, legally blind. She has her stick, and she has her phone, and she's looking up like this, and she's looking at her phone. And she's in this busy Granville Island, cars everywhere. And she is navigating this shit for herself. By herself, doing stuff, going out and about, shopping, socializing, and doing what she can do. And in that moment, I realized, man, I am so fucking lucky for what I have. I'm so lucky for my body. I'm so lucky that I only broke my wrist, that I didn't get run over by a semi-truck, traumatizing my training partner. I am so lucky I get to live every single day under this beautiful blue sky. Well, not all the time in Vancouver, but with the people that I am. I get to live with my girl. I get to live with her parents while they're visiting us. I get to live and experience every single day. When it's bad, it's still good. You have to remember this. So if you're going through a depressive phase, if you're going through, a time where something is taken away from you, try and find the silver lining. I'm not saying don't be sad, don't be depressed. There's times for this stuff. You have to mourn when something bad happens. You have to feel that thing. Trying to hide it, trying to compartmentalize anything does not actually solve the issue. Feel every emotion that you get to, but be grateful that you get to feel sadness, that you get to feel depressed, because that means you get to feel the other sense. That means you get to feel and experience everything in this life. And that's what this is all about. You want to feel every range of emotions. So yeah, I'm pissed. I'm not going to do the Coeur d'Alene half Ironman. But I get to walk around every single day. I get to tan in the sun. I get to read books all day, walk around. I get to hang out with all my friends who I wasn't going to see because I can't do travel nursing right now. So I'm going to be back home and I get to see all my friends. And I get to eat and take time and cook healthy foods. I get time to meditate. I get time to journal. I get time to recover and appreciate just how lucky I am and how lucky we all are to be on this planet at the exact same time. All this shit's going on, all the politics, all the AI, all the things that you think are making your life shittier. You can completely ignore that. You don't need any of that stuff. What is the silver lining? What is the positive thing that you can take from this? Your superpower becomes positivity when you get a good grasp of it. And that's my superpower. And still, I fall victim to not being positive or grateful sometimes. But if you can master it, if you can become grateful, if you can spin anything into a positive, you are untouchable, literally. So, if you like this video, like or something, comment, subscribe, whatever. Always remember to rep the set, and I'll see you in the next one.